superpowers, right? Because when you first started out, after you graduated from school, you actually went to the police force.
Yes.
What made you decide to change your track to NTUC?
Yeah, I think after I finished my bond with the civil service while serving in the Singapore Police Force, I think I was actually contemplating to enter the private sector. Actually, I wanted to embark on my legal career, as I had my first degree and second degree in law, as I wanted to enter the private practice. But actually, because of my grassroots work and my grassroots contacts, I was actually explored this opportunity of working at NTUC with one of the NTUC leaders, and we talked about it and said, why don't you try it out? No, you've been involved in the grassroots, you've been always doing for the service of the people in the police force. So I took the bold step to so-called try it out and join the NTUC in 2002. It was also then that, as you know, it's been almost, in fact, 9 years since I've been at NTUC. I think, of course, I started out at NTUC, and as I stayed on the job, I think I drew a lot of satisfaction, as I shared earlier, some of the stories. In fact, there are lots more stories. I think one of the key things that keep me back or still fires up my passion is this ability to represent the interests of workers and to helping impact lives, workers' lives positively. So that's why till today I'm still with the trade union movement.
What keeps you on? I mean, in the union and labor.
I think in terms of personal characteristics and my strength, I think one of the key things I think one of my strengths would be interpersonal skills and the ability to connect at all levels. I think being at NTUC, I have this fortunate opportunity of being able to connect at various levels, at various stratas. I think not just engaging CEOs or HR directors or very senior management in the negotiation of collective bargaining, but as well as engage low-wage workers, like I shared earlier, with the Union of Security Employees, where I used to serve in, as well as foreign workers as well, while serving in the Shipbuilding and Marine Engineering Employees Union. So that's one of the key things. And at the end of the day, being involved with all this collective bargaining, negotiation, helping workers, I see a lot of tangible results. And I'm glad to have made a difference in some of these people's lives, as they often share with me. And it's this so-called, it's very gratifying and very satisfying to know. And it's particularly heartwarming to know that you have impacted many lives.
So, you spent, as you said, all these years working on the grassroots, working your way up. Do you have any views of these other candidates who are just parachuted in, from the other industries where you've put in so much time to really know the ground? What are your views on that?
Firstly, I think like what DPMO mentioned, I think we want a diversity of views, not just people like myself on the grassroots, as well as people from various sectors like the private sector, so that we can have a true representative or to represent the voice of not just workers in terms of unions, the grassroots, the branches, but also the people of Singapore. I think increasingly we're very globalized, we're very cosmopolitan, so there's a need to actually have a greater diversity of views. But I said it's important to have good representation across various groups of us. Yeah.
Patrick, could you tell us? Yeah.
Some Singaporeans want like a Singaporean-only policy for jobs. Would you support this?
I think most importantly, you need to look at the kind of industry, the kind of jobs you're looking at. For example, if you're looking at security, maybe perhaps there's a national policy imperative that why we exclude certain foreigners. But otherwise, in certain industries where, for example, like in the two unions which I serve in, Shipbuilding and Marine Engineering Employees Union, as well as the Healthcare Union, we see the greater, in the shipyards, in the healthcare institutions, in hospitals, we see a huge surge in demand. In terms of healthcare, demand for healthcare services. In terms of shipbuilding, we are getting one of the best in the world, with building up various oil platforms. So to meet this demand, we need to have a fine balance, or in fact a delicate balance between the local and foreign workforce. Because if you visit these various be it the shipyards or in hospitals. Of course, you can see for yourself, demand is definitely increasing. So to make sure that we continue to have good healthcare services to our people, continue to be the number one shipbuilding or oil platform building country in the world, we need to stay competitive. We need to be able to juggle and manage this balance so that we can ensure the industries thrive and meet the demands.
Patrick, is there too much of NTUC in politics?
Like I said earlier, I think it's important that our workers' voice are heard, because I think our people, in fact, is the most vital asset in Singapore. So the focus on the workers, the focus on the labour movement, the focus on the unions shows that the importance we have put on workers and their interests and the interests of the people. So I think, as I said earlier, much as we want to have as many labour candidates as we can, we want also to have a field of good quality ones and to be able to voice their concerns in Parliament as well as in a national platform.
What different perspective can you bring from what's already been said in Parliament all these years for workers and about workers?
Yeah, I think for me, as I've been involved in the PA grassroots movement for more than 25 years, as well as with the unions on the ground, really rolling up my sleeves and getting my hands dirty and really engaging and feeling the heartbeat on the ground of be it low-wage workers and various stratas of levels of workers, both in the shipbuilding, in the healthcare, and the security employees. I think it's imperative that we, if elected, we want to be to bring the voices to a greater platform, so that we can build a Singapore that's worker-centric, and so that we can create better jobs and improve the livelihood of our people.
Why should voters vote for you?
I think, like I said, I want to reiterate again. I think I represent the grassroots, the unions. So I think one of the key things I have is a conviction to serve the people and to come forward to take the challenge to be a voice. So I think that's what I hope to do. And because of the volunteer movement, I've had the opportunity to engage various groups of residents, the ground, and in the unions, various strata of workers. So I hope then with this ability to connect with workers, with residents, with people in the constituency, that I may be their voice.
Mr. Tay, do you have any siblings?
No. Yeah. Yes. Oh, my dad has passed on when I was just before I finished university, and
so you were 24 or 25.
When I was 1995 January, he passed on. So just before so that was one of the biggest regret I had. That because I think one thing he wanted was to see me finish law school in university. I think so. So that's one of the. Well, he had a heart attack. So in January 1995, he passed on just before I graduated in April.
What did he do?
Oh, he was actually a store supervisor, but ever since I entered secondary one, he retired early due to poor health.
Store supervisor.
Yes.